it's very unfortunate that in Pakistan, somehow reproductive health remains a taboo subject. Although it is part of life, even Quran Majid, Sunnat, it is very explicit in reproductive health messages. Adolescents are basically young people in the age group between 15 and 19. And they, especially the girls, are at risk of experiencing a lot of poor reproductive health outcomes if they go through an early marriage. And then they face all the mental and physical issues related to early marriage. They are not ready for marriage. They are not ready for reproduction. But they go through early pregnancy, then they have lots of problems like they have more anemia than the older women, then they also have smaller babies, they deliver earlier, and as a result, the infant mortality as well as the maternal morbidity and mortality of these adolescent girls is far higher than we see in the mature women who are 20 years of age or beyond. Then being young and in their first pregnancies, they can have severe hypertension problems, which is the most common cause of maternal mortality in this age group, which is known as eclampsia, जिसको हम कहते हैं झटकों की शिकायत. इतना शदीद ब्लड प्रेशर प्रेगनेंसी की वजह से हो जाता है कि माँ को झटके पड़ते हैं, जिसकी वजह से उसकी मौत वाक़या हो सकती है, वरना बच्चे की भी मौत वाक़या हो सकती है. They should delay child bearing till they are ready for it, and that is only possible if the couple makes the decision along with their parents, because these are young people. They need a lot of support, and early childbearing has to be discouraged because they can even suffer from such a dangerous complication as a fistula, which you may have heard, where there is a wrong communication between the two pathways, the urine pathway and the back passage pathway with the female pathway. So these are very, very serious things we have to think, and we have to make sure that the legislations in place in different provinces are promulgated and they are acted upon. Then the third common cause is postpartum hemorrhage, which is otherwise the commonest cause in the women beyond 20. Here, because they are young, they have more preeclampsia, they have more eclampsia, they have more abortions, and then the postpartum hemorrhage, the hemorrhage becomes a very common cause of maternal morbidity and morbidity and mortality in these young women who are really not meant to reproduce. When we deal with young adolescents, they have practically no empowerment in their health-seeking behavior. They are too restricted because of their immaturity and lack of empowerment. So it is the mother-in-law who will decide whether she goes and gets a checkup. She decides whether she should do spacing of her pregnancy, and usually the husband is the silent spectator. He is sort of the obedient guy who is extremely obedient to his mother, and all the decisions are being taken by a woman who herself had a very bad career. She may have had 7 children, 5 may have, 4 may have died. She may have had 3 abortions as well. And then this cycle repeats itself because of ignorance and being able to not empower the young girl, not empower the young couple. So I think this taboo is related to our culture. It is not related to our religion. And whenever there is a cultural issue, it is the tradition of all sort of tribes and places to put a religious touch to the cultural malpractices or wrong practices in the society. So it has to, a major change is needed. How that is going to be catalyzed remains a moot point. In the rural areas, it is the primary health care which is the best place for seeking contraceptives. But again, there is a lot of stigma associated with family planning. So it is recommended that all the antenatal clinics, postnatal clinics where the pregnant women come, there should be facility available for counseling and availability of contraceptives, that is where women visit. Women do not go and visit the family planning center with the big notice board outside it. They are very important, but we need to make it mainstream. Every general practitioner, every male, every female, every LHV, every health professional has a duty to counsel for contraception. And in the rural area, the LHWs and LHVs are the main people who can basically give the message and make sure that the government primary centers have the facility of contraceptive advice and long-acting reversible contraceptives available, and they can be used as well. In the rural sector, it is the LHW who gives that health education messages. And as we were talking earlier, LHWs are busy doing all the things other than what they were supposed to do. The LHWs were basically inducted to do maternal and infant and child health. That was their primary focus. And unfortunately, because they are the only workers available, they are being used for all the things that they were not supposed to be used for. For the urban women, there are lots of options. Even in the urban areas, the dispensaries and the primary care centers are not functional, and they are the places for health education. Unfortunately, tertiary care hospitals are supposed to provide curative care, and nowadays it is expected that they would be doing primary care and secondary care as well. So we need to get functional primary care centers where doctors and other health staff are physically present.